All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Friday, September 3rd, 30 years alive here today, folks. I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but great to see everybody, of course, live inside our trading room. Norman, Michael, Deb, and all of us otherwise. I see Bonnie as well. A few of us, still sticking with us here inside our trading room. And if you're joining us on social media today, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back. So without further ado, I was going to do this meeting and then, rightfully so, dip out for the rest of the day. Got some plans later on. And again, I'll jump to that just as we finish up the meeting. But ZEV right now pushing up pretty nicely for a Friday heading into Labor Day weekend. You don't expect anything. You expect absolutely nothing. And then if there is a setup that you scan for, you stumble upon, and if it looks really good, then at that point you make the determination to try and jump in. So thankfully this ZEV actually had made a really nice pop. It was actually a little while ago, heading into like right around 12 o'clock Eastern time, I reckon. Ended up making this push right off of $9 essentially, $8.90. It started to make the pop, but a lot of volume ended up getting filled once 9 broken. Hey, from there, a nice steady push up just about 4.5%, near 5% just before, and heading into the afternoon near the highs in a stock that we are, relatively familiar with. So I have no idea, no problem, I should say, no problem putting this on our afternoon watch list just to begin things for us here, folks. All right. I'm in on one trade right now also as I take a water break there briefly. We'll get to that in just a bit. It's not the fastest mover, but it's one of the stocks, one of the couple, I should say, that I was really jumpy to early on this morning for us here in the trading room. You could probably take a quick guess and you'll figure it out. But you know what? We'll make things very simple and easy here heading into Labor Day weekend, and to expedite this for myself perhaps. But we'll go right from top to bottom. If there's anything that we ended up trading, of course, from the morning, we'll look to go through it relatively quick. But the IPHA, Norman wrote right before we started the meeting at 2:25 Eastern time, it got halted and not the first halt. So, the stock ended up making a bit of a squeeze heading into like noontime, relatively the same time as the ZEV trade popped. I don't think there's any correlation between the two. But, this ended up making more of a push heading into like 1:30, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Broke over 6, was pretty choppy, but ended up making the parabolic move up and got halted the first time from there. I think the second time, what was it, right here? 2:24 Eastern, and then it reopened up. Yep, 2:29 right there. So yeah, it did get halted once more on the way up. And since it's still shaking around, so for right now, easily enough, we'll put this on the main list, definitely above the ZEV, even. IPHA, what is this? Innate Pharma SA. I thought that said inmate. Innate Pharma. All right. So I don't know what the news is on this stock. If there's any, I'll check the monthly chart. Maybe the stock's even breaking all-time highs. Kind of looks like it. Jump back here on my monthly chart here just to go back on a number of months. Yeah, 20 years back. So I reckon this is all-time highs for this stock. That makes it an easier push up perhaps on this trade. So yeah, right now this will definitely join the list for right now. All right, so we keep it going. VERA, very spotty, like trading crap volume right now, although up, near 36% right now and up a little bit more from earlier in the afternoon. MDB, oof, way too expensive. All right, never mind. You know what? I should be looking at the price field there, but I'm also looking at the. At first I looked at the price and I said, "Oh no, this one has crap volume. Let me just scan you." I was like, "Oh, 4.95 million shares." You got to look at both, folks. So it's not just, and we talk about that, of course, all the time in the Phase 1 stock course. We just came off that from mid-August, and we'll go back into that coming up in just about a few weeks here. All right, so CEI very heavily traded also, pretty cheap. Just wanted to check it out. Stock over time had gotten crushed. I mean, reverse splits probably over and over across the years for a stock like CEI. But yeah, cheapy. Ended up making a nice pop earlier here, dipping back down off the highs roughly from 95 cents. And you know what? Right now, it's actually in a pretty interesting position. I'll come back to this at the end, at least. I normally don't like following stocks, below a buck. They normally don't make as clear or concise of a move, let alone a second move after a first run up like you have here. So, we'll check back in with this perhaps at the end. So keep on going. Bunch of unfamiliar names here on the gainer side, folks. I see the HUT there. That's one. We'll check that out. APOP is next, and I got the joke of the day for you there. HUT, I thought the stock was shortable, if I'm not mistaken, from yesterday. It is hard to borrow today, but obviously no need to try and short it unless if you're able to catch it off that little high. But it's a dangerous game. Either way, right now this stock is pulling back down now. It ended up making such a nice pop and run up from earlier, but since the volume totally died off. So for the meantime, this stock, I mean, keep it on the side list right now, and definitely going into next week, going into Tuesday next week when the market reopens up again. Labor Day on Monday the 6th, markets are closed here in the U.S. So it'll be a nice day off. But coming back on Tuesday, I would check back in with this trade just to see where it's at a minimum. All right, joke of the day: a pop is a drop. That's it. All right, so I'll see my way out after that joke, but nonetheless, this stock ended up getting crushed after the market opened up. We say it all the time, though, if a stock like this is easy to borrow, if it craps out the other way, wouldn't this be a great opportunity, right? So, we actually caught that earlier in the week really quick. I got a little time on my hands. ACIU stock it was back, I'm on my monthly chart there. I got to go probably earlier in the week, like Tuesday. What was this back from? The 31st. So yeah, Tuesday this week. Stock ended up dropping off once it rebroke below support off of 11, right? How could that not be a good opportunity? So it's just a shame APOP wasn't, shortable, of course, ended up just dropping off. On the flip side, would you want to hold on to a long trade, with something like this, right? So, simply put, just because good news came out, just because the stock looked interesting in pre-market, doesn't mean it's going to provide a good opportunity once the market opens up, if not at all, entirely here. So this stock just keeps going and going. Just go back to my daily chart here right now. Yeah, at this rate, it's probably going to just drop back down to the high back from Wednesday this week, 584. That means it has to break below 6 first. So, I would watch out for 6 initially, but otherwise, yeah, maybe 584 perhaps. That could drop down as low as, I don't know, if you could short it, then perhaps put it on your watch list, but I know it's hard to borrow for me. I tried checking earlier. All right, so we keep it going. See what else we got. Bitfarms, how about that? I'd get to Bitcoin here at least before I finish up, before I kick off my little birthday evening. But nonetheless, Bitfarm actually pushing back up right now. The stock made a nice slingshot after the market opened up, basically touched 6. I think it kissed it right away. It didn't break below it, if I'm not mistaken. If it did, that's a huge missed opportunity for me. What's the low of the day here? Oh, damn, 599. Yeah, it broke under 6 by like a damn penny. And, we find that to be really important because you don't want to catch the falling knife. So there comes a risk with doing that. But, I mean, hey, if this can break under, then back over a major level like that, then it provides a really good catalyst for a nice run up. So that's what we call the slingshot here at CTU. Ended up making a really nice pop afterwards, ran up to, basically 650 clean. And then, right now pushing back up. So we'll get to Bitcoin at the end. But yeah, for right now, Bitfarms, BITF. Put this on the main list here for right now. All right, so for all of us live inside the trading room, I'm going to keep going, but quick question. What's the stock that I'm currently in right now? If you could take a guess, quick stab in the dark here. What would you go with? What's the stock that I am currently in? You'd have to be here from the morning to get this, of course. I don't want to confuse anyone that's just joining us here live right now, but yeah, so QT trade from earlier today. Pulling back down now. Nice run up from earlier. It looks like this is getting even closer to filling the gap completely here off of 13, the low. All right, we got some guesses from Carol on MMAT, KPLT. We got from a couple of us, or Jim, DPRO. But we got Michael and Deb as we hop over to the losers list. Great segue, of course. FBRX. All right, so this stock is making the exact move that I thought it would make upon the market opening up, but damn, is it taking a long ass time. I really mean it that way because, Fausto says it all the time. These pharmas, once they get crushed like this, they don't come back. They rarely do. And if they do, we'll be there to call it out. But, we're not going to try and catch the falling knife. We're not going to, just hope and hold. As this stock is down 80+%, you'd think, well, at some point the shorts have to cover. At some point the stock is going to make a dead cat bounce, a squeeze back up, temporarily, of course, not long term. But, nonetheless, The stock out the gate, once the market opened up, it popped up, and I was waiting for this short, waiting for the short. I got it right off of 567. Phenomenal entry, to be honest, and it was based off the opening print. That's why I say that, right? We talk about it all the time. Now, based off such a big level, I forgot the size of the print, to be honest with you. I don't know it off the top of my head. Let's go with at least 400, 500,000 shares as the volume spike shows out off the market open. That's a pretty damn big level. So we talk about it all the time here. When a big volume level gets filled, when a stock passes through a big volume level in direction, right? So in this case, with bad news, you would perhaps anticipate a pullback down at some point after the squeeze up. So I jumped in short from 567, but I was expecting a much faster drop. A much faster drop. I wanted this to get down to 5. I wanted this to get down to perhaps near 450 by the afternoon. It's still possible it can get there, but it's to say that I wasn't in this trade just in one shot. I was taking positions all throughout the morning. I stopped trading after like noontime. I took a quick break, talk to family, get the well wishes from them, and of course all that. But I come back and I took 1 or 2 losses on this trade. They were tiny for about 2 to 3 cents. You got to follow the right levels here. So I took a loss after it popped over 520 and pulled back down below it. But then I caught it on a short, and I'm in right now. I got my stop set still, but I'm in right now from 510 short. So for right now, the stock is pulling back down to the next whole number level off of 5. You have a 61,000 share order on the bid sitting there. Thankfully, for my sake, there's a 15K order on the ask right at my entry price. So that's what I'm personally watching right now. So yeah, definitely as a short opportunity, the stock is breaking all-time lows historically right now today as well. Sans the pre-market data. So, right, we ended up seeing a ton of volume get filled in pre-market off of 450, a big, smart money print, we'll call it. And then really a couple of them otherwise at 4. So, those are levels I'm still watching. But, aside from that, just look at the daily chart. This thing got clobbered. All right, so add the FBRX, certainly. And let's see what else we got here. Let's just expand this. There we go. Thank you. All right. Everything else hard to borrow, really, otherwise. Like, look at this losers list. Unless if there's a stock really down really a lot, 25, 30%, which we'll check out a couple, A and Y I haven't seen in a little bit. Check it out, at least for right now. It's on the way down to 650. That doesn't look too good. So, hey, it looks like a much better short right now than a long. Just look at the daily chart. It completely broke lower from where it had opened up even yesterday, before the stock made the run from like, 675, $7 all the way up towards damn near 12. The stock ended up dropping all the way back down below from where it had even opened up, and much lower now at this point. So, if you're trying to look for a bounce on this trade, I don't know. I mean, if you did well on this stock from the last few days, then I'm sure you'll be more particular about it, right? But I wouldn't look to try and chase this. It's like how Fausto talked about the BBIG trade from earlier today. Now, that ended up making a little bit of a move heading into the late morning, right? I think it was. Yeah, I mean, this stock, Fausto said, at least, the run is done, at least at first on this stock. You want to look elsewhere initially. All right. Granted, the stock popped and ran up beautifully after, right? And actually, as I turn back to this stock right now, it's only up 0.8 whatever percent right now. This wouldn't have been on the gainer side or a loser side here. So, it's actually nice and convenient that we're running into this year, pushing back up pretty strongly over 8. And, hey, maybe this could be gearing up for another run. So, you know what? I'd rather follow the BBIG at this stage in the day compared to the A and Y for right now. All right, so we got a few of us here on YouTube today, not as many as normal, right? And actually, we had a lot of us back on Tuesday this week. But hey, heading into Labor Day weekend, I wouldn't expect many to be here, right? So nonetheless, let me ask you, what do you got for me? Anything up, down, left, right, more than 5%, perhaps, or perhaps if it looks like a BBIG, like a really nice volatile move up, if it's not up or down as much as that, let me know. Check Benzinga Pro here first. We'll jump to Bitcoin. I'll flap my gums about that, as I jokingly say. But otherwise, after that, I'll check out anything else from the chat boards, and we'll wrap up from that point. All right, so what do we got here? IPDF. I get that right? IPOF. My it's not dyslexia. That's my bad eyesight there. Up 5+%, 7+ million shares traded right now. A lot of that came off of like a big volume spike after 10:30 seemingly, but afterwards, hey, nice steady push up right now in this IPOF, not IPDF, as I learned. Stock also got clobbered over sometime back in 2021, earlier this year. So yeah, pushing back up right now. It's near the highs. Good spreads for the meantime. I don't know what this is. It's an ETF or fund. It's a holdings company. You know what? I'll add it to our list for right now. I don't mind it. A little unfamiliar with the ticker, but that's cool. That's fine by me. IPOF. All right, so let's see what we got from Norman here. Picked up 36 cents on Hippo. Read that one. HIPO. Nice spike up. Wow, Norman got 36 cents. He was in practically from 5 right out the gate. Well, once it popped, ended up making a really nice squeeze at first. Yeah, very thin volume on this stock though right now. Looking at the order book, if you're comparing the IPOF to this, obviously, one's making a bigger move, right? But, looking at the liquidity on the order book, this one's a lot less risky, in my opinion, compared to that Hippo. So nice job getting out from Norman, one of our longtime students here at CTU, finishing up his week really nicely. So, yeah, for right now, you know what? I'll add it to our list, but I would just be really cautious on this trade. If it ends up dumping back down pretty quickly once we finish up this meeting, then I would throw it out the, throw it in the garbage, as Fausto would say. All right, so that will bring me to Bitcoin, and then if there's anything else here at the horn, at the buzzer here, we'll check out the chat boards. If I can get my screen up. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so what happened here over the last like two or so days, right? Because we're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Bitcoin and also Cardano mainly, but it's to say that Bitcoin ended up actually making the push around 50,000 and pop above it just recently, heading into this morning. I think it's going to be short-lived. I'm a pessimist here right now. It's to say if I'm wrong, I'll be extremely happy to be wrong. And if this blasts on up to like 54, 55,000, which is where we have the next resistance level, then I'll be really happy at that point, right? I'm not in the accumulation stage at this point. I want to say that because we always have new members joining us here on social media and, of course, inside our live trading room. And, if you're following this yourself prior to joining CTU or following us here on our social streams, then, hey, I mean, you might look at us and say, hey, we'll try and take an entry based on what we're talking about, just so you folks know. I've done my job already on this trade. Thankfully, things are working out again, off the drop off from the, peak off of 65,000, right? But otherwise, for right now, I'm not really in the business of trying to buy more myself. So I'm trying to warn you, if we happen to see a drop, then it wouldn't shock me if we happen to see this pull back down even below 49,000 and go from there. Should that be the case, that could be a pretty interesting opportunity for you to buy, right? But yeah, for right now, of course, hey, I'll take this breaking out over 50,000, getting close to 51. I mean, I think even damn near touching it right there, like off by like 60 points for $50,000, crypto right there. That's really close. So, clearly 51 it topped off at, but yeah, I wouldn't expect this to, or rather, it wouldn't shock me if this ends up pulling back down here sooner than later. All right. Otherwise, Cardano, really quickly, I want to mention because I don't, not to pat myself on the back. You know what? It's my birthday. I will. So Cardano here ended up topping off right at 310, the exact price level I told you folks to watch out for, because Cardano at 310 actually it's the translation to $100 billion market cap for this as a cryptocurrency. So, hey, that is a psychological level where for anyone that got in this trade at like, 2 cents, 3 cents, perhaps where I initially got in at like 7.7 cents, you may look to jump out. I'm not jumping out myself, but that could cause a little turbulence on this trade. 3 was a real pain in the butt at first, but off this, pop from the pennant here, ended up topping off and kissing 310 on the nose, and then from there coming back down. So, hey, if Bitcoin drops, this is going to go with it. Wouldn't shock me. Smart contracts coming out on Cardano coming up September 12th, just about 9 days. I look forward to it. So that should bring a lot of noise and activity to, this one in particular. What else we got? Oh, really quickly, how about Litecoin? How about Litecoin? Yeah, so a little pop on Litecoin. I got a couple of us here. If I could even find it, geez. I guess it's not as popular of a crypto nowadays, but I saw Litecoin make a nice little squeeze up. Got a little time to shed some light on Litecoin. I'm not in it anymore. I ended up actually using all my Litecoin funds on Phantom, which ended up moving up 100% this week, which I'm very happy to take. Let's see if I can get that here. Litecoin. There we go. How about 217 on Litecoin? Nice little squeeze up. Look at that. There we go, Rich. There's your Litecoin. All right, so folks, let me know if there's anything else that you got as I was kind of rambling on there for the last couple of minutes. I appreciate that, Donnie, and if there's anything else, let me know. But I may as well say this, and I was going to get to it. I appreciate everybody from this morning and right now, just all the well wishes, at least from today, the big 3-0. So I already felt old when I started realizing that my hair was starting to fall out at a faster rate than it was last year. So I realized that a couple months ago. So I think that was my turning point. But I appreciate the well wishes. I'm going out to dinner with some friends later on and celebrating. Out to dinner with family out on Sunday. Shout out to Robin and Henry there. So I appreciate everybody. Hey, if you have any questions, folks, for all of us on social media, please let me know. Send over any questions to my email address, josh@ctutrading.com. Hopefully I typed that correctly there in the YouTube stream. I did. Perfect. All right. So, folks, aside from that, enjoy the day today. Enjoy the weekend. I look forward to seeing everyone back here. I was about to say Monday. I tripped myself up there for a second. We'll catch back to everybody on Tuesday of next week on September 7th. Labor Day on Monday, so markets are closed. All right, folks. I'll talk to you all soon.